Voice cloning and deepfake scams are everywhere, and they're convincing.
Sounds real, right? But what if it's not? What if it's AI? In this episode, we'll show you how these scams work and how you can protect yourself against them.
Don't miss it, because the next call you get might be one you can't afford to take.
My name's Brandon, and this is my friend Megan, and we're going to talk about these scams and how you can protect yourself. Megan, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Well, thanks, Brandon. Thanks for having me. As Brandon said, my name is Megan. I work with the risk department in FAIRWINDS. And so I'm here to tell you a little bit about how these AI scams are working. I am a certified financial crimes investigator. So we work with these kind of scams. We're seeing them more and more commonly. So I'm very happy to come and share some information with you.
Can you tell me about voice cloning?
Yeah, absolutely. So voice cloning is kind of just what it sounds like. It is somebody using a voice of another person, either maybe a loved one of yours. You're getting a phone call from them. They're asking for money. It can be as severe as ransom money they're asking for, which is huge with like grandparents getting calls from their grandkids saying, "Hey, I'm in jail. I got to get this bail money," or "This person has kidnapped me. I need this ransom money." And it sounds exactly like their loved one. And that's because fraudsters have gotten some sort of example of that loved one's voice and then just was able to put it through a program and then use their voice to make it sound like they were saying things they never, ever said.
Yeah, I just think about social media, and people are saying, "Oh, we're at, this place and look at this fun things." And maybe they're doing skits or something like that, and they can easily use clips from that. But you're saying they can actually replicate live speech and customize these things?
Yeah. There was a phone call going around a couple of years ago where you would answer the phone. They would say, "Hello, can you hear me?" And so your natural response is to say yes. And then to that, they would say, "Oh, sounds good. I was standing in my living room. 10 minutes later, my roommate got the exact same call, the exact same voice." So this is probably 10 years ago. They've been doing it ever since. It's just gotten so much better.
Yeah, 10 years. So that's been going on for a while. So that's lots of time to practice.
It's lots of time to practice, lots of time to get better.
What do we do?
Well, it's kind of like with anything, right? I like to say that we all get those senses at the back of our mind, right? Something isn't wrong, it isn't right about this interaction. So you have to think about the urgency that a fraudster is trying to contact you with, right? That they cannot get you off the phone right now. Everything that they say is urgent. It's life-threateningly urgent. And so right there, that should be a red flag. What they're trying to do is scare you so that you will do exactly what they say. But if we take a moment and think, which we don't do when we are as scared as what they're saying makes us, if we just take that time, take that second, we can recognize there's something off about this situation, right?
Yeah. I remember learning about that with, just like at the workplace, don't click on bad emails. And I feel like I wouldn't be subjected to that. Like, I feel like I'm, strong enough to really be able to spot the scam, but it sounds like they're getting better and better. Like, is there like a code word or something that we should develop with our families to make sure that you are who you say you are? Say banana. My password's not banana, but it's fine.
That's actually exactly something I would recommend people do, is establishing code words. Now, the thing is, you don't want to establish that code word on some sort of platform that could get hacked, right? So you don't want to text or send that message through Facebook, Instagram, say, "Hey, here's our code word," because if that gets hacked, your code word is there, you're going to fall for a scam. So I would have that conversation in person. I would potentially even put that code word in writing, and you could snail mail it, but anything that could get hacked, I would stay away from establishing that code word in that platform.
I mean, thankfully we can still trust face-to-face communication.
Face-to-face is always going to be the safest.
Yeah. I remember in the early days of the internet, you had you could push buttons on this digital soundboard, and it sounded like you were, from a movie or something like that. And a friend of mine pranked me with that. I was like, "This is fake." And it was just a prank call, but now they're using that for evil.
They're using that for evil. And when you think about it, so we live in a world of influencers and celebrities constantly online, constantly putting their content out. It's become more and more prevalent that these things are used in romance scams, right? So you are getting contacted by a celebrity that for whatever reason is saying that they need you to send them money, but you have had conversations with that person. They have developed technology that you can have FaceTime with that person and make it look like it's them. That's one of the most, I would say, convincing things to a scam is have a FaceTime with me, right? But now there are programs that they make it look like they're legitimately having FaceTime. I think I read an article that Jennifer Aniston was one, had a romance scam for years going on with somebody, and he finally was like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And it's her holding up signs saying, can you send me money? It's having FaceTimes with her. It's this entire relationship that's predicated completely on fraud.
Yeah, it sounds. I think of filters and how you can make yourself look different with a filter, and how that's gotten better and better over the years. And that's deep fakes, right? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, so deep fakes go even deeper than filters, right?
Ooh.
So we were lucky enough to go to a fraud conference in Florida earlier this year. And a lot of credit union financials have gone to, if you open an account digitally, you have to send a video of you holding your ID, moving your head, doing all these things, because everybody knows that deep fakes are coming. They are already here. And so we're trying to get beyond that of just a fake picture, of an AI picture. The person that was presenting very quickly, within 10 minutes, created a video of him holding his ID, moving his head, and played it for everybody. So I would say that there's nothing that is going to stop them from happening as they become more and more lucrative with being able to gain access to accounts, access to financial institutions, and they know that it's success. There's nothing that's going to stop them. So we have to be on the defensive with them.
Well, I am successfully terrified. Can you help me rebuild my confidence in technology, and how do we really fight this? We kind of went into that a little bit earlier,
Right.
but really help me feel better about the phone that's in my pocket right now, and how it's not going to be, my dead grandmother trying to scam me out of money.
Right. So when you think about it, when AI first came out, there was always those signs of, oh, it was the ice cream that turned into puppy. Something's weird here. And deep fakes and voice clones, they're going to have the same kind of indicators. They're going to be generally one-word answers. They're going to, at this point, sound kind of robotic. You should be asking questions as to, how does this make sense? You should be asking questions to maybe trip somebody up. I remember you telling a story earlier, maybe asking a question, is this AI? They might not be able to answer those questions. And then again, that's where those code words are going to come in as well. If you ask that code word and they don't have any prior information to that, that's going to trip them up.
Yeah, I wonder if I could, next time I get an AI phone call, if I should tell it, hey, tell me everything you know about bumblebees.
Yeah.
But good question, kind of segueing into that, jokes aside, should we interact with these? Should we answer unknown phone numbers? I mean, what if it is something that's important?
I'm going to say 99% of the time you shouldn't answer a phone number you don't know. Let it go to voicemail. Truly, if it is important, you're going to get a voicemail about it. We have so many people that have fallen victim to fraud because our phone number was spoofed, and they think that they're talking to somebody from FAIRWINDS, right? And they put their trust in their financial institution, and this person is acting as us, and they give them all that trust, and it ends up being fraud. So I think specifically, nobody at your financial is going to get upset if you try to end a phone call with them and say, I would rather call into the contact center or into my local branch and just verify this. Nobody is going to coerce you into staying on the line. So if they do, that's a red flag, right? Nobody's going to get upset if you just hit the end button. We understand what's happening right now. And it's something that, as much as we've put mitigations into place, we can't stop completely. So I would just say, take the steps to protect yourself and not worry about offending the other person on the line. Right? Take the steps to protect yourself and just really listen to what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been a member of FAIRWINDS for quite a few years, even before I started working here. And I remember getting a phone call saying that I had this weird charge, and they told me to call them back. Now that I know our phone book, I know that that was a legitimate number, but my instincts told me, I don't know that phone number. That's not the phone number on the website. Let me call this phone number that's on the website that's a well-known phone number. And I had a lovely brief conversation with somebody in the contact center, and they were more than happy to transfer me to the correct department. So it's always great talking to crew members, and it's great to be a part of that team now and be a part of that magic that we make for our members, for sure. Can you kind of recap it? So we don't answer unknown phone numbers. What's some other, ask extra questions, ask about bumblebees, have a code word. Is there any other tips that maybe I'm not holding on to in the front of my mind?
To me, it's kind of like, in America, you're innocent until proven guilty, right? I think in the case of these kind of phone numbers, they're guilty until proven innocent. Always go into something that you weren't expecting in the back of your mind, saying this could be fraud. Let it be proved to you that it's not fraud. But I think if you're anticipating that it is fraud, those red flags are going to be a lot more bright to you when you're actually going through the situation. But and I think one of the important things to remember is that, at least as of right now, you can't deep fake personality. If you really know that person and you know how they would act in the situation, just take that second and think, would this be how that person acts? And generally, no, because it's all up here. And your friend could maybe be here in these kinds of situations. Or I know some of the calmest people in the world that even when what hits the fan, they're still down here. So if that person that's always at this level is calling you at this level, just question that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think of like inside jokes. So who knew that those inside jokes that we were passing around the middle school lunch table could be a way to prevent fraud?
Right.
I appreciate this conversation. You broke me down. You built me back up. I appreciate it. Thank you for all that you do for us here at FAIRWINDS. You are fantastic.
Thank you for having me. So have you ever seen an AI scam? Let us know in the comments if you have.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share your stories.